Yes, my name is Frank Weiss. I'm the general manager of Gooch Housego, Boston, and together with our Torquay, UK site, we provide high quality, active and passive fiber optic components for high reliability and harsh environments. So in terms of harsh environments, what do we mean by that? Well, really these are environments that are non-commercial. So these can be operating environments that are space, aerospace, undersea, industrial, automotive, and applications that are put strain on a component and a system far beyond what you might find in a commercial telecom or datacom type of application. So what separates these environments from commercial datacom or telecom is that these devices are usually required to operate over very, very harsh temperature, vibration, shock, humidity, pressure, and even harsh chemical environments. Also, these devices have to carry a very high mean time between failure, so a high reliability where MTBF is measured often in periods of a decade or more. So these are not components that you would deploy into an application and a year later replace. So these applications also have to support long operating service lives. Typically, throughout the course of the product life cycle, components or subcomponents inside these devices might become obsolete. So you have to be able to prepare for that. You have to have a good supply chain coverage so that you can actually maintain and support these applications long term. All right, another specific requirement that's often found in applications that are for high reliability and ruggedized components is that the standards for commercial parts, such as RoHS, typically don't apply. As a matter of fact, really they run counter to the needs of these components in the harsh environments. And in the case of RoHS, you have a device that's put together with tin-based solders that's sold into commercial application. Well, those tin-based solders can promote the growth of tin whiskers over the long service life of the device, which in turn can impart shorting internal to the device and a catastrophic failure. So another reason why commercial standard parts typically will not work in an environment such as that requires high reliability or ruggedized performance. So some of the pitfalls that we want to avoid is certainly in underspecifying or not really taking full account for the breadth of performance that these devices need to meet. And oftentimes a commercial part will be assumed to work on the data sheet. The basic parameters of the device look fine, but in reality, when you put it into the environment, over the long service life, you'll find out that there will be shortfalls, and you just simply can't take a commercial datacom or telecom part, put it on a satellite, and hope that it's going to last for 20 years. One of the other areas that really need to be careful of as well is, especially if we're looking at the aerospace and defense markets, and that's a subject of export control. And it's while it's not necessarily a technical requirement, certainly it has a lot to do with your ability to fulfill customer needs. And so it's very important to understand the end use of the item, who's going to be using it, and what they're using it for. And also, as from an international perspective, in the United States, obviously, we have ITAR restrictions that prohibit foreign companies from doing business in the aerospace and defense market here. And then there are similar restrictions in Europe regarding other countries working in those markets. So, working with someone who's got sort of a global presence can help in that regard. So. One of the things we suggest looking for, some of the things we suggest looking for in working with suppliers in this market is that, first of all, it's a different play than the high volume datacom and telecom supply chain or fulfillment cycle, because while the processes are very similar, we're building products in volume in a production environment. It's really, we're looking more at at a high mix, high value versus a high volume, low cost model. So that's a consideration that isn't often taken into account, and so a full appreciation for what's involved in producing lower volumes of parts to higher standards really needs to be understood. Another important consideration are the quality standards that an organization has in terms of the accreditations. Typically, ISO 9001, but also AS 9100 for aerospace and defense are important things to look for. But I think one of the most important attributes of an organization that can support this market is a company that has a large toolbox. So the ability to have, to take years and years of experience and capabilities and package them in a way that suits a particular application. So really it comes down to having the ability to be flexible and being able to have that flexibility across any volume and scale from low to high volume, but really just to provide that, that support that is taking a part or working on a part that's not really a catalog item, but maybe a slight modification to a catalog item. So while there's really no one-size-fits-all model for any particular market or any particular application, the key is flexibility and looking for partners that understand that and have that broad-based experience that goes across several markets and many different applications. So I thank you for your time, and I invite you to visit us at GoochHousego.com to learn more about our capabilities. Thank you.